Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning. I am your host, Patricia Rivero Wolfson, and I'm an intuitive coach and an energy healer, a wife and a mom of 3 boys. And my mission is to teach you how to, number one, calibrate your energy, number two, how to integrate self care into easy, doable steps, and number three, how to embrace your own natural gifts to achieve a life you love. Doesn't that sound delicious? I think so. And that is my mission this year, next year, always. It is always my mission to let you know that you are special, you are unique, you are exactly made the way you were supposed to. You are not broken, you don't need to be fixed. You are a magnificent creature of God. That's what I have to say to you today. And welcome to a holiday week episode. I'm very excited. We have Christmas coming up, which we do celebrate, and also Kwanzaa's coming up. We have New Year's coming up. We have so many awesome celebrations. We've had a few. Hanukkah's passed, Diwali's passed. We've had so many amazing celebrations. And it's really good because it is important to celebrate, even if you've had a really rough year, even if you are experiencing some challenges in your life. It is especially important to celebrate. It is especially important to continue to activate those feelings, those good feelings, those gratitude feelings, and really appreciate what is going well, how far you've come, how far we've all come, right? I mean, think of 2020 and where things began, and think of where we are now. And you could be watching and thinking we're kind of in the same place, but we're really not. We've really come so far. We are in the midst of a transformation. We are in the midst of human evolution, right? The evolution of humanity. And I mean, maybe that seems like very grandiose, and maybe you don't agree with me, and that's okay too, because I believe you can look at things from whatever perspective works for you. But I see this as an opportunity for us to evolve into the amazing people that we are, into the amazing humans that we are, that recognize our divinity within, right? You can do that. You can recognize that you are a piece of that amazingness that exists on the planet, right? You are a piece of that life force energy that flows through the earth and through the cosmos. You are a piece of that. You cultivate a piece of that. And so it is your job and my job for us to make sure that we are managing that little piece of energy that we are in charge with, right? That piece of energy, that soul, that magic, that life force energy that flows through us in these bodies. It's our responsibility to make sure that that is shining bright, that the light is shining bright, that our souls are connected, and that we are experiencing life to the fullest. And when you are experiencing life to the fullest, there's ups and there's downs, and there's everything in between. And you just got to learn how to navigate, move through it, use your tools and your strategies, and keep on growing. So, let's grow together. And one of the things I want to talk about today is growing together in communication, in conversations, in relationship with other people. And we're going to talk about this little piece of the puzzle that I think is really important in talking about communication, especially sacred communication, which is something that I like to refer to, right? Sacred communication is communication where you are really honoring that communication and you are connected to that communication and you are in alignment with your own communication, and then open and listening to someone else's, right? And having a real energetic exchange. That's really important. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. And what I'm going to discuss specifically is in a conversation, within a conflict, in a relationship, often what you want is what you need. Right? That makes sense, right? No, but what you want from this person, from this relationship, from this experience, from this situation is what you need to give to yourself or to the other person, right? We're going to talk a little bit more about that later, so stick around. In the meantime, if you have not yet Oh, wait, hold on a second. Oh, good morning, Dad. Good morning, Lynna. If you have not yet downloaded my GPS workbook, I really recommend you do it before the new year. It's a great exercise to do, especially as you're reflecting on the past year. I mean, if you're that type of person to like to reflect on what has passed in the last year, and you want to just look at also the future and how you want to feel and how you want to move forward and how you want to walk through the world, how you want to embody your energy and how you want to embody that feeling of connection or that feeling of bliss or that feeling of sacredness or that feeling of peace, whatever it is that you're looking for, the GPS workbook will help you find and refine what your coordinates are, right? What is it that you want to create? Where do you want to go? How do you want to exist? The GPS workbook will help you with that. And you can do it all on your own and it's free. And you can also reach out to me and I'll help you through it because sometimes it's fun to do it with other people and have someone kind of just holding space for you and reflecting back to you the things that you say, that you discover, that you write about yourself. Okay, so now that we've talked about that, don't forget to subscribe to my Jumpstart for Change channel on YouTube. I'd love to get a few more subscribers. If I hit 100, that means that I can call it the Jumpstart for Change channel, and I would really like to do that. So if you have not subscribed, please do so now and ding that little notification button and spread the word, pass it along to friends, invite people to be a part of this channel, and maybe you guys can learn stuff together or do stuff together, or at the very least, do the sacred ceremony that we kind of do together, or this ritual, not so much a ceremony, but the sacred ritual we do every morning, which we're going to start right now. Okay, here we go. So let's light that candle. I need to take a deep breath. I feel like, I've been running out of breath these days, and I think it's just like my energy level is like, and I'm probably not getting enough rest to maintain where my energy level is at. So I'm a little tired and out of breath, but that's okay because I'm just going with the flow, people, just going with the flow. All right, turn your candle on, light your candle. You can light my candle. All right, once in a while, I'm going to sing that song. It's just the way it is. So if you don't like it, sorry. But I love you anyway. All right. Okay, so let's do some essential oils. So we light our candle. We do our essential oils. Once again, I'm using the meditation blend from Organic Infusions right now. I only remember that I need another sacred frankincense when I'm here in the mornings because that's when I use it. And I haven't removed it from my desk for me to remember to get another one. So, yeah. I got to work on that. Okay, little essential oil on the hair. I like to comb it in my hair. I already said that. I mean, I usually say that. That's why I do it like this, because then you kind of have that scent in your hair. I love it. Deep breath. And now we're going to take 3 very intentional deep breaths together. And I want you to visualize that you are opening up the top of your head. And from the top of your head, you are allowing the flow of beautiful light energy, right? Just open it up and imagine sort of like liquid sunshine pouring into your head and just coming down and going through your whole body and extending out and all the way down your legs. In the meantime, I want you to also imagine that your legs are firmly planted on the ground and that beautiful life force energy, that creation energy that helps things like burst through the ground and grow upward. I want you to imagine that that is going from the soles of your feet, entering into your body and spreading. And I like to imagine it almost like a vine, right? Because it feels earthy and organic and it kind of makes me feel like that creation energy. But you can imagine it as energy. You can imagine it as roots. You can imagine it however you want. But I like to imagine like it's sort of like coming up the legs and sort of wrapping around my legs and then going up my body and everywhere else. And so I want you to imagine that this beautiful, nourishing life force energy coming from both the earth and from the heavens, blending in your body and just blowing away any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy, right? So almost like a laser gun or a ray gun or however you want to imagine it, just the light just like bursts any of that sort of thick, stuck, heavy energy that's in your body. And when you exhale, so this is how it goes. We're going to breathe in, imagine all of that energy entering your body. You're going to hold for 5 seconds and allow that energy to just boom, boom, like, destroy and eliminate and dissolve any of that energy that's thick or stuck or stagnant. And then when you exhale, you're going to release all of those, like if you imagine the fragments that don't belong, that energy that doesn't belong in your body, we're going to release it with our breath, okay? We're going to do that 3 times. Okay, here we go. And hold. And release. Beautiful. Let's do that again. And imagine yourself really increasing that capacity, that lung capacity. Just take a deep, deep, deep breath and allow your body to just expand to receive all of that beautiful, nourishing life force energy. Okay, here we go. And hold. And release. One more time. Here we go. And release. Okay, amazing. That feels so good. And now let's just, oh my God, my neck is so sore. I think from 2 days ago when I slept on the floor. I should say I fell asleep on the floor, trying to stay up and do my post and also hang out with my mom and also take care of my dog. Life, people, life, it happens. Anyway, so wherever you're feeling sort of tension or stiffness in your body, I want you to just stretch it out, okay? Now, of course, if you're doing this on your own and you want to do a more involved yoga retreat, it's not really a retreat, like a more involved yoga experience, you're allowed to do that. Of course, you're allowed to do whatever you want. But right here, we're just going to kind of release the tension, stretch a little bit, stretch the arms. That's sort of where I need it. My neck, my arms, my back. Oh, okay. I'm actually doing this, people. We're doing this together. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to loosen up the shoulders or wherever it is that you really need loosening up that tension. Go ahead and do that. Whew. All right. Now shake it out. 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 All right. Okay. Beautiful. Now we're going to set our intention for the day. And as I've been saying this week, especially because it's holiday week, you could set your intention for the day. You can set your intention for the holidays, or you can set your intention for 2022 and begin to already embody how you want to show up in 2022. What do you want to bring into your life? And whatever it is that you want to bring into your life, you need to embody. So if you want more abundance, think, how can I be more abundant? How can I activate my own abundance, right? If you want more connection, if you want more peace, if you want more space, if you want more love, right? Then you have to ask yourself, how can I be more love? How can I be more peaceful? How can I activate the peace within me? How can I activate the love within me? That's the kind of intention that I want you to think about and I want you to set, okay? And we're going to say a little prayer and we're going to ask for the support of the source and creator and the angels, spirit guides and ancestors and all those beings of pure white light, that we're going to ask them to support us on this journey. We're going to ask them to support us with this intention and release any of the things that don't serve us and prevent us from embodying this feeling. So let's do that now. Okay, so here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself, or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. That feels so good. I felt really connected to that this morning. Hi, Mom. Nice to see you on here. Haven't seen you this morning. Just joking. People, my parents are here. I totally see them every day, and it's super awesome. And they've been so helpful. Oh my God. They've been so helpful. My dad, fixed some windows yesterday. My mom's been cooking and doing laundry. It's amazing. I love it. Thank you. I'm so grateful. And I'm sure there's something that you have at home to be grateful for as well. Even if you're struggling, even if you're being challenged, I know that there is something that you can be grateful for. So take a moment and just think of what you're grateful for in your life. Maybe it's a good friend. Maybe it's good sex. Maybe it's, a kid who does really well in school, whatever it is that you're grateful for in your life. Maybe you just found a really awesome ring at the store. This is from when I went to Salem. I really like this ring too, but that's not what I'm celebrating today, although I am grateful I have it. But anything, like grateful for working legs. If you really can't think of anything else, but you have a functioning body that is for all intents and purposes healthy and you can get from place to place and do what you need to do, well, then that's a reason to be grateful too. So even if you feel on the surface there's nothing to be grateful for, start with body parts. And if you have like functioning eyes, if you can smell, if you have a mouth that works, I'm not even kidding, start there. Start simple. If you have hair, there's people who don't have hair. There's people who don't have, sight. There's people who don't have all sorts of things, right? And I'm sure that they, anybody who doesn't have, a body part has other things to be grateful for. Anyway, it's just an example. I'm just saying, there's always something that you can find to be grateful for and something that maybe you don't think is a big deal, but there's someone else out there who thinks it's a very big deal. Okay. So let's talk about, as I shuffle these cards, what I really want to talk about in today's holiday tip, right? And the tip that I said, of course, is whatever it is that you're looking for. If it is something that you want, it is something that you need to give. Okay, I've talked about this a lot, and I use this point in my 5 principles of effective communication in that workshop that I talked to you about yesterday that I did many years ago. And this is something that I still feel super, super strongly about because everyone is a mirror. And everyone is reflecting back to you information, right? It's not always like reflecting back to you, what you are and who you are, but it's information. And then you have to discern what that information is. So is that person reflecting back to you something you need to learn? Is the person reflecting back to you a pattern you need to break? Is that person reflecting back to you a reminder that you need to set boundaries, right? What is that person reflecting back to you? In any relationship, in any conversation, in any connection you have with somebody else, that person acts as a mirror for you and gives you information in your interactions within your relationship, right? And so one of the things that I think we sometimes forget is that whenever we are looking for something from someone else, when we look externally for something or for an answer or for a solution or for a feeling, very often, no, not very often, always, it is, you may need it from that person. And I'm not taking that away, because if you're in a relationship with somebody, then, you're going to want, there has to be an energetic exchange. But removing that aspect and removing the responsibility from the other person and thinking about what you need, very often what you are looking for externally is something that you need to provide yourself with internally. So, for example, if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're feeling like they haven't really validated you or appreciated you, and you're working really, really hard, and they're just not verbalizing their appreciation or showing you appreciation, or you really feel like that they don't really get what you're doing or how much you're doing, or, that it kind of feels like you're doing it for nothing, and they're really not appreciating it. So, not that you don't have to have a conversation with that person about that. You absolutely need to. But for yourself and within your own journey of discovery, within your own journey of calibrating your energy, the first question you need to ask yourself is, do I need to give this to myself? Or how can I give this thing that I'm looking for to myself? So if it's validation, right? We look at other people and we're like, "Hey, look at all the work that I've been doing. Look at how much I do for you. Don't you appreciate it? Can't you see?" Right? We need to ask ourselves, like, are we doing all this work in order to get the other person's validation or appreciation? In which case, maybe you need to think about not doing that work. Or also think about, are you giving yourself the value for the work you do? And this is a really big topic, especially among women and especially among moms. Or, you know what? I'm not even going to say it has typically up until now been amongst women and moms, but it's something that's definitely opening up and something that affects a lot of caregivers. So regardless of, woman or motherhood, but someone who is a caregiver, someone who gives of themselves, they often, will encounter, someone who doesn't appreciate all they do for them, or potentially they will, if that's the case, they start to feel like resentment, like, I do everything for you, or I do so much for you, and you don't even say thank you. You don't even seem to appreciate it. You just have this expectation that I'm going to do it. That may be running through your mind. So then you need to stop and ask yourself, am I validating all this work that I'm doing? Do I need to do all this for myself? Do I need to do this for myself? Right? Because sometimes we do so much for other people, but we don't do any of that for ourselves. And so you need to ask yourself, where am I not putting myself first? Where am I not validating myself? Where am I not appreciating the things that I do? And that is really an opportunity for really good introspection. It may be an opportunity for you to set boundaries with other people, but not because someone else is taking advantage necessarily, but for you to set the boundaries so that you don't overextend yourself, so that you don't overwork yourself, so that you don't give so much that you have nothing left for yourself. So that is really important. And sometimes another aspect of this is when you are having a discussion with somebody, and let's go with appreciation, because that's a big one. I definitely feel that, as a mom, I really like feeling appreciated, that, my children are acknowledging and appreciating the work that I do. And no, I never feel appreciated enough. Although, we work on it. I work on appreciating the work that I do. I teach them how to appreciate the work that I do for them, right? Because I also have to teach them so that they understand, hey, mom does a lot, and okay, I appreciate what you're doing, and thank you so much, and all that kind of stuff. And I have good kids, so I can't complain. But one of the other things is to ask yourself, if you're having a discussion with somebody and if you feel like that you want them to appreciate you more, or to validate you more, right? Of course, you're doing the work on your own and maybe journaling and asking yourself how you're not appreciating yourself. But the other aspect is, if that's what you want from them, how can you give them what you want from them? So let's look at the appreciation and the validation, right? And you hear it so often in relationships, right? Oh, I do so much for you, you don't appreciate me. Oh, I do so much for you, and you don't appreciate me. So if you're feeling this lack of appreciation in your relationship, ask yourself, have I put out appreciation? Have I appreciated my partner or this person in this relationship? Have I verbalized how much they mean to me? Have I verbalized how much I appreciate what they do and how they show their love to me? Because very often, especially if you are feeling underappreciated or undervalued, then it's almost like you hold back even more on giving that thing you're missing. Because you're like, well, if I don't feel appreciated, I'm not going to sit here and appreciate you either, right? And then you end up with this heavy, thick energy. And it's like the avoidance of gratitude, right? Because you're not receiving it. So you're resenting, you're building this resentment against the other person who doesn't appreciate you. And then you are also not easily giving appreciation. So you are holding back. You're holding back on that appreciation. And that becomes this thick energy, right? This energy that you are holding back, that you are stopping from flowing. And so ask yourself, if I'm feeling underappreciated, how can I appreciate? If I'm feeling unloved, how can I put love out there? How can I embody love? How can I show up as a loving person if what I'm looking for is love coming in my direction? And it really is that, because it's just how the world works, and how energy works. What you put out there will be matched energetically, and it will come back. It may not come back from that person. Okay. And that's important for you to know, because energy comes back in the form that it comes back, but you don't get to choose how it comes back to you, right? So you may be giving all of your love and care and attention to one person, and then you receive that love from a completely different person or from a completely different situation, or you start to get signs from the universe and you feel loved, but maybe not from the person you wanted to feel it from, maybe not from the situation you were expecting to feel that from. And it's important that you understand that just because you don't receive it directly, like just because I give it to you, does not mean you give it to me, because we have free will, right? And God gave us free will on purpose. We get to choose what we want to do with our energy. We get to choose what we want to do with our life. We get to choose what stays and what goes, right? In many cases, of course, there's things that we can't control and things that we, don't have any say in. But for the most part, you have to think about, what energy am I looking for? What feeling am I looking for? What do I want from this communication? What do I want from this relationship? And really break it down. And once you break it down, ask yourself, how can I give that to myself? Number one, how can I give that to myself? And number two, how can I put that out into the world? How can I give that to the world? Because if it's something that I'm searching for, I need to give it. I need to give it, because then it means that whatever I am lacking, I am going to provide. It's like the thing we want the most is the thing we're going to create. Is the thing, it's like people who have a passion for something, maybe it started off as a lack and they're like, I never want to feel the lack of this again. And so they work towards building it and having more of it. And that's what we need to do. We need to understand that what I want is what I need to give, is what I need to create, and what I need to embody. And when you figure that out, especially when you are talking about communication and when you're talking about relationships, that's going to be one of the most important factors for you to keep in mind in order for you to navigate challenging conversations. If you know that you're about to have a challenging conversation with someone and what you want from them is validation, well, then you have to ask yourself, how can I validate myself here? And what can I do to validate someone else? And it may be that person you're having a discussion with. You may need to give them validation. Maybe they want you to acknowledge their perspective, their viewpoint, you know, their feelings, their experience. And 100% of the time, that's what people want. They want validation, right? They want acknowledgement. Whether or not you guys agree, what they want, and we talked about this yesterday, is to know that you're listening and that you see them and that you hear them, even if you don't agree, but doing it in a compassionate and kind way. Okay, I've been shuffling these cards forever. We got like 2 minutes left, but I got really carried away because I feel really, really strongly about this. Remember, in all of your communications, in all of your relationships, if you don't remember anything else from this holiday communication tips, episodes this week, remember this. Whatever it is that you are looking for is what you need to give to the world. Whatever it is that you are looking for is what you need to give to yourself. Okay, both to yourself and to the world. I hope that made sense. Okay, card, boom. Okay, look at this. Back to basics. So this is the number 1 card. I don't know if you can see, but it's number 1. That's why I said back to basics. And the card is the Bone Collector. And the Bone Collector card is all about going back to basics. It's about trimming the fat. It's about releasing all of the excess, all of the things that don't serve you. And look at your life right now and decide, hey, what do I want out of my life? And what is not serving me? And literally just start paring down, eliminating, reducing, releasing any of the extra stuff, and get down to brass tacks. Get right down to the foundation. What is most important to you? What are your priorities? What do you truly want to embody? And what in your life is going to help you embody it? And what in your life is helping you or preventing you from embodying this feeling? Is it a feeling? Is it a thought? Is it a limiting belief? Is it a relationship? Is it, you know, wounds? Is it ancestral wounds or generational wounds? Is it current wounds? And what can you do about it to bring yourself to a place where you can finally move forward? Start from the beginning, go back to basics and break down everything, right? It's like bare bones, like the bone collector. It's like just go right down to the bare bones of it, right? And really start at the foundation. And how do you build a strong and solid foundation for what you want? This is what this card is saying. So think about today. That is going to be your soul work for today, is to think about how you can reduce and release anything that's not serving you. Really understand what are the most important things that you need to focus on for you to create the life that you want. And you can do this right now and start prepping for 2022. I don't know if 2022 is going to be any easier. I know for me, I suspect it's going to be just as challenging. However, we leave ourselves open to miracles happening. We leave ourselves open to the possibilities of how things can shift and change in magical and unknown ways. So I leave you with that thought. I thank you so much for joining me today. I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. EST. Don't forget to subscribe to Jumpstart for Change on YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.